Silk Road historically was a path that connected East Asia all the way to the Mediterranean and even beyond to Europe by sea. And it wasn't only a trade route, it was also a route where culture and ideas traveled from east to west and back from west to east. And this really embodied what the Silk Road Institute was about. This idea of the exchange of ideas and the arts.
And that's the kind of space that we're trying to create here in Montreal. And I think that's what really sticks out, is our engagement with Montreal community, with artists, with the audience, and that's what we're really doing, trying to create a community that's very closely knit, comfortable with each other, but at the same time exploring together and growing together.
Arts, culture, and ideas have historically been a defining force for communities. It helps them question who they are, it helps with social cohesion. It also helps them look to the future and consider where they've come from and where they're going. If one was to look historically also at when someone wants to destroy a culture, they target their literature, their arts, their ideas, because that is, with the physical, what also defines such a community.
Throughout these events, whether they are on the artistic side or on the ideas side, I think what we're continuously trying to do is respond to questions like, what influence does art have on the shaping and kind of the defining of these communities in a kind of multi-ethnic society like that of Montreal? Or what are our roles and responsibilities as individuals from these diverse backgrounds in engaging with contemporary thought and with public opinion and responding to these things. And I think this is continuously what we as the members of the Silk Road Institute are actively trying to do.
So, people have discussions about Canada being a melting pot, or a mosaic, cultural mosaic, and so on. And all these groups kind of have interesting questions of identity and how their identities emerge within the Canadian context. And that's what we were interested in, seeing how Canadians engage with their culture, their background, their history, and just current contemporary topics.
For us in North America, Muslims have been here for multiple generations and are no longer tied to any other culture. They have a unique North American culture. One needs to realize that Muslims don't exist in North America in a vacuum. In fact, any community, their identity, their culture, and their arts are a product not only of themselves, but of the larger community they live in. And this essentially posed a different type of question. How do we create a place where different communities come to explore who they are, to come and meet? John Ralston Saul draws a very interesting example in his book, A Fair Country. When the National Gallery of Ottawa was putting together their exhibit, they included Aboriginal art along with art which we used to consider as mainstream, and instead categorized the exhibit based on different time periods within our history. And in a sense, this put the viewer in a different frame of mind, viewing both or all the art exhibited as part of a unified culture, but also distinct in its own way. We've tried to incorporate that spirit in the Silk Road Institute.